Hello, NFL fans. Welcome back to another episode of Hurdle the Line. Yes, it's me. It's Chapman. I am back after a what do you call it? Gallivanting over Europe in the hottest of weeks, and yeah, just back in time for what was one of the most brilliant England games I've ever seen last night. Fletch, I know didn't watch, but Batch. I have to do my tongue exercises before we start talking. I know you enjoyed the game. We were talking about it before.
Oh, didn't I just? Yes, it was theater, it was cinema, it was brilliant. It had everything.
It literally did have everything, except we didn't see any streakers, which I was a little sad about. But Fletch, how are you doing, Bob? We
Uh,
saw each other last week in
we
person.
we did. I was gonna say. I mean, more importantly, the well, I've seen you in person, not just over a screen. I remembered that you exist from the chest downwards, which is always good to remember that people do that. I remember during 2020, the amount of people that you just didn't know whether they did exist from the chest downwards or not was quite the experience. I too watched some thrilling, gripping sports last night. I don't know why you would think I didn't. The Blue Bombers beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 14-13. While at the same time caught a bit of baseball. Great night. A great night for sport.
This is Fletch's running thing where the only football team he will watch is the Man City. But anyway, I would think you'd have a rooting interest in Holland doing well, just for fun.
Um, my only rooting interest in Haaland, well, I say only rooting interest in Haaland, was on the weekend. I knew that he played Brazil, and obviously, as is always the case, he mogged Gabriel. Even more so because Gabriel can't get away with common assault on him because the Premier League lets him do that. Yes, I'm taking shots at you and your football club, Chapman. But so I saw that. Very, very much looking forward to continuing his run of form. My only problem is when tournaments like this happen, I keep checking social media and just please, 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 just don't get injured, don't get injured, don't get injured, don't get injured. Um, so
He's not getting injured, don't worry. Yes, and I'm wearing my USA jersey tonight because we're on the eve of the rematch from '02. US Bell. I'm assuming what happens. I really want this win bad, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the NFL, and as everyone knows, who's NFL fans.
it's sorry. What I do know is if you don't win, it's okay. Trump will put a phone call in. Belgium will get knocked out. Um,
Yes.
hang on, I've
It's
got,
it's
I've got
fun
a pen.
how the president of the United States feels like he needs to put his finger into every single aspect of everyone's lives all the time, because that's what we all voted for in America. Anyway, let's move on. So what I was going to talk about is the NFL, and July is typically the time where there's not a lot going on. And guess what, guys? There's not a lot going on, but we have a great show for you tonight because we're doing a little exercise I like to call the NFL Summer House. For those of you who don't know what Summer House is, it's a very popular reality show about people having sex somewhere in America and being all together and hooking up. But that's not what this is going to be about. But you need to stay tuned for that. Let's talk a
I'll
little
have to
bit.
rewrite a whole. I'll have to rewrite my whole list if that was the case.
Yeah,
Damn it.
we'll get back to that, Fletch. Question, guys. Let me read a trade rumor out to you guys. What if the Las Vegas Raiders sent Maxx Crosby to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2027 first round pick and a 2028 second round pick? Who do you like that trade better for?
um, for me, the Raiders, because they've got two big that'll be two big things for their reset. Also, Max Crosby's already failed a medical at the Ravens, so obviously, and they're still
But
getting.
Batch, that's a bit like it's a bit like the red card that America got the other night. It doesn't really count. Doesn't really count.
Ours shouldn't count. But anyway, another subject. But yeah, I think the Raiders are getting the most value there. because he's aging. He's coming off a big injury, and they're getting premium picks for him.
Fletch, what do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah. No, I'm in agreement. I think if this gets put on this this trade gets sent to me, I'm taking it. If I'm the Raiders, um, look, not mentioning the previously failed medical. Excuse me. I think fair point on his age, on kind of dealing with the injuries that he's dealt with, but also I want the capital. If I'm building around Mendoza, I mean Maxx Crosby. Two years ago, Maxx Crosby was the piece that you had to build around for that franchise. Now it's Fernando Mendoza. Now it's some of these key young pieces that they're trying to get in and they're trying to fix things up on the offense. So I'd trade away a defense. I'd trade away someone like a Maxx Crosby, get extra picks in next year for what is going to be quite a good draft by the looks of things from a variety of different positions. And you're sending him to a division that Maxx Crosby isn't going to make all that much of a difference when you put facing teams with Myles Garrett and that Seahawks defense. Like you out of the frying pan into the fire for Maxx Crosby. Whereas if you're the Raiders, I'll take the picks.
I agree. Well, we'll see if it happens. It's been rumored. Another rumor, Aaron Donald potentially could come back to the already stacked Los Angeles Rams. If I'm him, I'm just going to throw this out. I don't do training camp. And in fact, I probably don't do the first month of the season. I maybe come back in like October, maybe.
Yeah,
What is it?
if you're an offense and the opposite side of the field, you've got Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald. Do you want to just give the Lombardi over to them straight away? Because let's be honest, that is absolutely disgusting. If you're an offensive player and you're facing them, you might as well not turn up because they strike fear into man.
Well, I agree with that. In the years and years I've been watching the NFL, it tends to not work that way. Now, I don't think this team is not going to be good because A, they added the best defensive player of a generation to their team. They already have a really great offense, and they had a like a very promising young defense. They're obviously all in this year. Aaron Donald probably can still play the guitar, I'm assuming, as my friend Dan Hansen says on Heed the Call. Um, what do you think, Fletch?
Yeah, I'm going to say about to say the same thing that Aaron Donald hadn't really lost a step when he left. I think it was one of those retirements on a wanting to leave before you lose that step, wanting to leave maybe the love for the game a little bit, maybe the body is a little bit beaten up and you kind of think, look, I'm going to cut my losses here, kind of go out on a high. I'm going to go out without losing that step. So, and if you watch some of his workouts, like actually, I think I've said before, you could take me to the gym for a year, have me bench whatever I want, total it all up at the end, cumulative. Aaron Donald will bench that in one session. Like that man, there's what he can do, the physicality that he still possesses. I absolutely think he could come back without barely losing a step. He'd still, I think there would obviously then be some sort of a transition period to getting him back up to game speed and getting him back up into the drills. But that man is still as physical as ever, still as looks still to be as fit and in shape as ever. I don't see any reason why it would be a bad thing to bring him back. Obviously we've seen that throughout. I can't think of too many players who have retired and then come back after a couple of years and then still been great. But if you're gonna hang your hat on just about anyone, it'd probably be Aaron Donald.
Yeah, and going back to, it's not like he's changing teams. He's going back to the team he, spent his career at and won a Super Bowl with. Also, look, we've got LeBron right now, who obviously is opted now. I don't think like LeBron in the NBA is a far greater player than Aaron Donald. And Aaron Donald, that's not taking anything away from him. But I'm really excited to see LeBron sign somewhere different. Hopefully not the Warriors, because I don't really want to see the old team. But Anyway, but you know,
He's going
no
home.
one's going to hold anything against LeBron if he goes to the best team he can go to and potentially wins the Super Bowl. And I think the same thing for Aaron Donald. If Aaron Donald wants to go back to the Rams and make them better, I don't, and potentially win another Super Bowl to really cement his legacy. Who
Yeah.
cares? Go do it. Go do it.
He'll have to step up and go and the next greatest player to have ever touched the ball in Yaxel Lenderborg. He was drafted by the Golden State Warriors this year. I don't think he gets in ahead of Yax. That's not me speaking as a biased Michigan fan, as I watched Yax win us a national championship in March. Sorry, in April. That's just pure facts, pure baseball knowledge. God, I've ruined my whole thing here. Right, no, carry on. Ignore me.
The problem is, see, what the audience doesn't hear is, so I'm part of the college football chat group, and that's where Fletch's heart is. Let's just all be honest. He loves college. I mean, not that he doesn't love the NFL, but that's and anytime like the difference between that show and this show is that they're all homers. They're all terrible homers. I just saw the coaches list that I will have to talk about offline, Fletch. That I saw the number 2 coach on there. My jaw almost hit the ground. I was appalled so much.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know. No, I did the same. It should have been Carl Whittingham. Um, so I'm in agreement with you there on that one, Chapman. So it's fine.
Yeah. All right. You got any other bits over there, Batch, before we get into our exercise for the day?
No, it's been a very quiet week in news.
Yeah. Well, we won't let you waste your time with news that doesn't matter. So let's get right to it. So, like I said, this episode is the NFL Summer House. So you are going on holiday for a week to anywhere you want. It can be Ibiza, Cabo, St. Kitts, Vegas, Italy, whatever. You're going to rent a huge house, and it's going to be you and 4 of your best mates in the NFL. Now, you got to think about this. You're taking 4 guys. You're going to be going out to dinners. You're going to be pool partying. You're going to be hanging out. You've got a full guy pass from your wife, your spouse, your partner, whatever. And you got to think about the alchemy of this house. You need, in terms of it's, when you go out with your boys, your best friends, you guys go out for a weekend or whatever, everybody plays a part. So you got to think about that for this week. You don't want the bad guy, but you do want a guy who's going to kind of help mix things up. You want the cool best friend guy. You can kind of pal. You need the good looking one who could probably get the ladies when you're out on the dinner, even though you're not going to be touching, but you're still going to be having some fun. You know what I'm saying? So you need to think about all these things. Uh-oh, Miss Fletch is in the room. She heard.
No, no, no,
Fletch is,
no, not at all. I'm confused. Like I thought I was the good-looking one, but it's fine. If you want to,
you need your wingman. You need your wingman. All right. So we're gonna do this. Is everybody clear on this exercise? So we're calling this the Hurdle Lines NFL Summer House. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. But I also, before we get going, I want to know where you guys would go. What would be the week? Where would you go? And if you say Detroit, Fletch, we're kicking you off the show. Batch, you go first. Where would you go for a week? Just you and your favorite NFL mates.
Caribbean.
Cool. Good. Anywhere specific in the Caribbean?
Um, Trinidad and Tobago.
Never been. Sounds lovely. Fletch.
I can't believe you thought I'd say Detroit. I wasn't going to say Detroit. I wasn't going to go close to Detroit. I was going to go with Ann Arbor instead. No, I'm joking. Excuse me. No, I'm really jealous at the moment. So Mother Fletch and Father Fletch are currently on holiday with little brother Fletch in Cyprus. They seem to go every year. I see all the photos. I would love a week in Cyprus. So I'm gonna go with that. Potentially like Paphos, somewhere that's quite touristy. So, most things are still in English. We're okay. Still loads to do.
Great. I'm going Cancun only because I know that's where all the NFL players go when they get done with their seasons. And I've never been. And I feel like I would be like, they would take care of me. And I think there's big old villas there that we could get. So everybody's getting a villa no matter where they are. All right. Is that cool? Everybody gets a villa in this exercise. Summer house. Here we go. All right. Cyprus sounds really nice. Batch, we were literally like this much of a turn on Fletch doing some like family therapy through us talking about how he's not the safest in this family. We avoided that one. All right, here we go. I'm going to go first since I made up this exercise. So, my first person, I know it's going to be a shock. One of my favorite players in the NFL. It's not Joe Burrow. I thought really hard about Joe Burrow, but I need a quarterback. And I was like, who's the quarterback I actually want to hang out with? I watched Sinners on July 4th. That was my July 4th film. I rewatched it. Amazing film. And I am picking the husband of the star of Sinners, then that is Josh Allen. Josh Allen would be my number one. He does two things for me. A, I think Josh Allen's the good guy. Actually, does three things for me. He's like kind of the glue. He's probably gonna be the good guy. He's sort of he's also very handsome. So we're gonna have that. We're gonna like when we're out, like, it's gonna be fun. And the other thing is he's ginormous. And I feel like when it's like you're a group of guys, you kind of want to be, you need like some enforcers. Now I'm not gonna pick another enforcer, I think, down the way, but like you kind of need some like, granted, they're all gonna be NFL players, so they're all gonna be able to, I'm gonna be the smallest guy of this group. But that said, I think he's like he's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, I think. He's personable. He's kind of got the Hollywood thing with his wife. He's big. He's nice. So I think Josh Allen is like a great pick for me. So that's my first one in Summer House in Cancun. I'm gonna go around to Fletch,
Yeah.
unless his mouth's full.
No, it's fine. So, thinking of a couple of things to do with this exercise, by the way, and when you say things like we're going out for meals, one of the things that scares me is the potential of going for a meal. I feel like I can't pick offensive linemen. You've seen me in person, you've seen my frame. I can't, my plate doesn't equate to what an offensive lineman eats in a morning. Like my daily intake is not what an offensive lineman would eat in a morning. So I'm scared of potentially bringing offensive linemen through purely on the basis of I'm going to look pathetic when I eat next to them. I'm looking for someone at this point in time. I'm going to go relatively similar to you, but I'm not going with a quarterback. I'm going for someone who's devilishly handsome. If I do say so myself. And I wanted his brother more than anything, but you only gave me active players in the NFL. I love this. I love this guy. I think he's amazing. And then obviously he's married. He's now married to the biggest pop star on the planet. So there are doors that open for you without really needing much. Give me Travis Kelce.
See, I thought about Travis Kelce, and then I'm like, he's gonna suck the air out of everything. Like he just sucks the air. If you're going for a beer with Travis, I think that'd be cool. But like, I'm gonna spend a week with this guy. I just feel like he's gonna be on the phone, calling Taylor all the time. She's probably gonna show up at some point. Like, and she said, and by the way, they did get married on my birthday, which I really felt like we needed to like address that probably in the news, but it didn't. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for that was anyway. Uh. Yeah, I thought about him, and then I'm like, nah, Travis is out on my end. Batch, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I was actually very genuinely tempted to Travis as well.
So I will say this, especially with Taylor turning up. So I had little Fletcher this week, this weekend, and I turned to her on Friday. Now she's a 9-year-old girl. She's a Swiftie. To which I turned around and said, "Did you know that Travis Kelce's got married? He's married this random girl. I don't know what her name is. Wind her up all weekend about it. It's hilarious." If Taylor turns up, so I need to think about my life after the Villa, right? I need to think about my life after this. So yeah, Travis Kelce might have the moments where he sucks the air out of it. I like listening to the New Heights podcast. I like watching some of the things. I think he's got a good energy about him. I think I can enjoy that. But if I get to come home to my daughter and say, I've met Taylor Swift, potentially get a couple of selfies, potentially even, listen, I can catch Taylor when she's drunk. I'll have some things on her. She's definitely doing a free cameo for my daughter for her birthday. I'm dad of the year, dad of the century, dad of a lifetime. So just throwing that one out there. Taylor can turn up. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm selfish. I ain't think of any of that. Batch, who's your first person, NFL player?
George Kittle.
George Kittle. Tell us why.
Well, I'm a geek, so I like my wrestling. George Kittle likes his wrestling. So we've got something to talk about, a mutual bond there straight away. He also likes a beer. Every time he shows up on the wrestling events, he's down in beers. So straight away, he's a bit of a laugh. He's got none of the he hasn't got the anchors that I've got. He's got no children. He doesn't want children. I think he's got cats or something like that, or dogs, one of them. So he don't have to bring his kids or whatever. His wife seems quite fun as well. So, you've got the lot of fun there with George Kittle, and we've got the mutual bonding.
Very nice. A lot of wrestling down in Tobago. I forgot where it was.
Trinidad
Shoot.
and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
No, there
Very
you go.
good. All right. So far, Josh Allen is in my house. You've got the two tight ends, Travis Kelsey and Jason and George Kittle. Sorry.
I like George Kittle. It's a good shout.
Um, Now I'm going in a completely opposite direction. And this may be a big shock, but you need a little spice. You need somebody who's gonna, you need a wide receiver, right? Like you got to have a wide receiver. You need somebody who's gonna come in, do some stuff. Now, are you going Puka? No.
Yeah.
Some of the off-field stuff, don't like it. Stephon Diggs, it's got a lot of baby mamas. Guy definitely likes a party. Maybe it might be a little too much. I'm going to go right in the middle. And I'm going to go for what I think is still the best wide receiver in the entire league, and that's Jamar Chase. He's got the like Louisiana swag. He's friends with Joe Burrow, who I didn't pick, but I still really like. Joe felt like he might be a little bit of a downer, just to be honest with you. Yeah. Anyway. I like Jamar Chase. He's not like a diva wide receiver, really, but he's getting paid more than anybody, so he's probably picking up the bills. And he's just like one of my favorite people in the NFL. I just think he'd be super, super fun. Yeah. And so that's my number. That's my second guy, Jamar Chase. Come on down to Cancun, buddy. You're coming. You got the invite. Fletch?
Um, it's an interesting one. So I understand the need for spice. I think similarly to the way you went down with Puka Nakua, though I think this guy's a bit worse in terms of his off-field antics over the years. I would think Tyreek Hill, but no, thank you. That's a bit too much. Again, you want spice, you want entertainment, you don't want the police being called. Just
Yeah.
throwing that one out there. I do think you need someone like a quarterback to join in. I think Joe Burrow was an interesting one because while you say he might be a bit of a downer, I also think that he seems like the type of person he'll be quiet for ages, and then the one thing he does come out with is absolute got it's something really sarcastic, really silly, and absolute gold. Um, but no,
Like you wanted a Batmobile.
yeah.
He did. He did. I know that is a plus for me too, Batch.
Damn right.
Throw to Batch. I need a second on this one. Still thinking.
All right, Batch. While
So-
Fletch vamps, you
So-
vamp.
A quarterback that has made a lot of money. He's not necessarily a massive party boy, but he's a genuine nice guy. Captain Kirk Cousins. I think
Wow.
he would be a nice guy to spend a week with. He just, he's got that nice aura about him, if that makes sense.
So you got-
So go on, Chapman.
I was gonna say, so you got George Kittle crushing beers on one end of the couch, and then you got Kirk Cousins drinking Shirley Temples on the other end of the couch.
Well, yeah, you need the balance.
I like the image of George Kittle and Batch down in a few beers talking about wrestling, and at one point George Kittle's just like, "What do you reckon? Do you reckon you could take me?" And Batch is like, "Oh, I've had a few. I think I might be able to." And then Kirk Cousins is sat there like, I think everyone needs to. Kirk Cousins will be one walking in, just like, "Look, should we have a glass of water? Sober up a little bit. Make sure we're okay. Have you eaten? Have we make sure we're eating?"
Checks and balance. You need the dad.
Um, that'll be fun. I'm still trying to. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a homer. I'm going
Do
to
it.
pull someone from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, of course.
I think he's the right balance of cocky, but without being over the top. He's confident and he makes a lot of money. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Um, I think he would be. There'd be a balance here, and there's sometimes where I think he just seems like just he'd be a really good mate to have, but sometimes I think he might just need to be a little. It might be a little bit selfish at times, but I do think that he's going to be sat there. You're out. You're in. You go to the local bar in Paphos. The Elvis impersonators on the stage and whatnot, and there's a decent looking lady over in the corner, and I'm on Rice St. Brown's like. Go talk to him. Go on, I got you. I got you. Um, so I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Um,
Does his mom and dad get the invite too?
Quintemius does because I need the fight. I need the fights. I need the I need that brotherly banter between them. That's Amon-Ra St. Brown being the cocky little brother, and Quintemius trying to be the sneaky older brother and taking little shots. And I like that. I like the aspect of that dynamic. But I know after a couple of drinks, I'd just be really mean to Equinemius. After he takes one shot at Detroit, I'll say something back that's probably not nice. Maybe not John Brown. I like he's interesting, but I disagree with too many of his takes. And I think again after a couple of beers, and I'm a bit more confident to submit. I think that was full of crap. I don't think it would go down very well.
That's fair. That's totally fair. All right. So I've got uh Josh Allen and Jamar Chase. Fletch, you have St. Brown and
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. Batch has George Kittle and Kirk Cousins. All right. Very offensive heavy on this side. So I'm going to pick a defensive player. I really wrestled with this one. Maxx Crosby was like the first go-to only because but I just feel like 2 days of that guy, like he probably parties all night, still wakes up at like 5 and then goes to the gym for like 2 days. And I just feel like there's probably a lot of screaming involved. But he looks like he's a fun time. Then I thought about Myles Garrett, and like what I can tell about Myles Garrett is he's kind of a really into Myles Garrett. So, and as much as I love him, I just feel like it's probably going to be kind of, I don't know. So I ended up with Michael Parsons.
Interesting.
I like
Yeah.
Michael Parsons. A little bit of an underdog. Got drafted today. It's been much better than he'd say. He's in Green Bay now. He's probably chill out a little bit. Micah brings, I think he's got a big kind of like offensive wide receiver personality, but he's still really fun. He's coming off the injury, so he's kind of humbled a little bit. So I think he's probably going to be kind of like hair of the dog. What I think he brings is sort of just like some no nonsense to the party, which I like. So he'll balance out my Jamar Chase. And I think he'd be a good mix. I think he could have fun. So I like him. So that's my third pick.
Um,
I'm gonna go to Batch next because
okay.
Fletch needs 15 minutes of thinking before. Batch, who's going down to the old Caribbean with you?
Oh, now I'm I'm really stumped on this, but the other side of the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver room, T. Higgins looks like he's a bit of fun. And so far, I've got George Kittle's fun. I've got Kirk the dad. So I think T. Higgins, he earns a lot of money, so he could also be picking up bills, like you said with Jamar. And I think certain character traits that Jamar might have could have rubbed off on T. Higgins, so he could be a good man to spend time with as well. So yeah, T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. All right. What about you, Fletch?
Yeah, I was gonna debate. I was likely going to go on defense, and then you went defense, and now I feel like I'm copying. But I think what you need in this is you've got when you talk about your flashy wide receiver, someone who's got to add a bit of spice. I don't feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown adds enough of that. So what I think you need to do is go on to the other side of the ball. Because someone who's also going to add a lot of spice is a defensive back. I would love to spend the week with a defensive back because I think they are going to be some of the uh how do I put this? More interesting additions to the week. So do you know what? If it didn't happen if it didn't happen last week, if last week didn't happen, I probably would have gone with Terry on Arnold. Now I'm scared to take someone like Terry on Arnold with me. Um,
Well, no one's starting on you.
oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, there's always that, but I think Pat Satan. I've go with Pat
I thought
Satan.
about Pat. He was picked Mike over him, so it's a good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. So again, I just seems like it's a solid guy who will have a lot of fun. Um, and again, it's relatively similar to the way you talk about Jamar Chase. Obviously, he doesn't make as much as Jamar Chase, but I feel like he's someone who would. You're out, you're having a few drinks. He's just like, "Don't worry, lads, I've got this. I've got it. I've got it." Throw in these Amex.
Guys, all these guys are ridiculously rich, so you don't have to worry about money. All right, that's it. Okay, so I'm down to my last one, and you would be crazy if you thought I wasn't going to pick an Atlanta Falcons for my last player because I am. My favorite Atlanta Falcons player, in fact, and that is, yes, I'm picking another wide receiver. I am picking Drake London. Why do I pick Drake London? Drake London's from SoCal. He went to USC. He's a SoCal boy. He's cool. He's fun. He's got that intense edge when you need it, but he also knows how to have a good time, knows to work hard. Then he goes and has a great, he's a work hard, play hard guy. He's super fun. He can fit in anywhere. I feel like if Josh Allen's sort of the like George Clooney, I think Drake could be your Brad Pitt, like a la Ocean's 11. So I think that's well, if I'm not playing the Brad Pitt part, then that's Drake London, right? So that's what I kind of think this is. And like, I like, if you know anything about Drake, he's like the heart of the Falcons. And like, I just think he'd be the heart of our group. And I just think this is a really fun. So I've got Josh Allen, Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, and Drake London in my summer house in Cancun. We're going deep sea fishing. We're going clubbing, pool parties. We're going out to the casinos. We're doing everything. It's gonna be fun. Beat me. Who's
That,
next?
that request.
No, that came out wrong.
Um,
Try and beat my
Do you
foursome.
know? No. I've just realised you took that a very different way. I was meaning violence. I'm sorry. So I think you
I'm a
need,
lover, not a fighter, Fletch.
yeah. I no comment. You need a leader. You've got Josh Allen in yours, the quarterback, the leader. I'm gonna go on the. In fact, no, I'll stick with the quarterback because of again, you're talking the finances. I want the finer things in life. Damn it, it's gone out my head now. I did have someone. Oh shit. Um,
I'm just gonna look and see what time I texted this exercise to everybody. Let's see.
so I've been dealing with other things.
All good, brother. I'm kidding. Batch, you go, buddy. Who's your fourth person in the summer house?
Well, just from personality on the pitch, on on the gridiron, Martin Emerson Jr. from the Browns. He seems like a lot of fun. He's always doing, a little bit of clowning with his fellow corners and that. So yeah, just for a little bit of fun, Martin Emerson Jr.
Nice. Fletch, did you figure yours
Yeah,
out?
got him. I got him. I only totally forgot because I shouldn't be doing this. This is cheating. This is worse than having an affair on my wife in a week by inviting a Chicago Bear. Shouldn't do it. I'm inviting Caleb Williams.
It's not bad. I did consider it.
I like Caleb. I mean, I've obviously been one of those on this podcast who, okay, I haven't been the most high on him, but I like him. I think he's a fantastic young player. Um, and I think he's a lovely, yeah, I just think he's a lovely individual as a human being. I think he's fantastic. I think he'll be able to party, but I also don't think he'd go too far. I think he'd be one of the ones who's going like, right, guys, let's take it down a notch. Let's maybe head back to the villa, have a couple of drinks there. We'll be okay. Um, I feel like he's someone I could have a good chat with. I'd probably be sick of him by the end of the week. But I think for the first 5 days, I think he was the best thing since sliced bread. And then the last 2 days, it'd be the reason why I'm happy to go home.
Fletch, tell me your four again, start to finish.
Travis Kelce, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Pat Surtain, and Caleb Williams.
Nice. Batch.
Kirk Cousins, Martin Emerson Jr., George Kittle. Who did? Oh, who did I say?
Oh my gosh.
Why has my mind gone absolutely blank?
Did you pick a wide receiver?
Yes, I did.
While you're thinking, mine, just to remind everybody, is I picked Josh Allen, I picked Michael Parsons, I picked Jamar Chase, and Drake London. Now, quick bonus question. You only get 10 seconds to think about it. At one point, it comes the weekend, it's Friday. You're there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A head coach is going to drop by and hang out for the 3 weekends. What head coach would you pick? Fletch, 10 seconds. Pick one.
Oh, come on, Mike Vrabel.
Oh, damn you.
Good catch. All right, Batch. 10 seconds. Ready?
Brown's head coach because he just doesn't take any stick and is the enforcer, if that makes sense.
You can't even say his name.
Bob Monken.
Yeah, Todd Monken. All right. Mine would be Sean McVay. Because here's what Sean's going to do. Sean's going to get up in the morning. He's going to be making smoothies for us all. He's probably going to lead some sort of meditation service for us all. He's going to get us all cleansed, hydrated, ready to roll. And then we're right back out partying. I think that's exactly. And then Sean's going to be making us do push-ups. Like we're going to do all that, healthy breakfast, and then everybody's drinking by noon again. That's what Sean's doing.
No, not a chance. Am I going with a head coach who's going to be like, "Hey, Fletch, let's go for a run. Let's get our day started off right." Absolutely not, Sean.
He's going to
Absolutely
meet
not.
you in the morning. He's going to be, I made you a fresh green smoothie. There's some egg whites ready to roll with some sourdough bread and, turkey bacon. And then
Mike,
he's going to be like, we're going to do a little meditation. Then we're going to do a nice little quiet swim in the pool. Maybe got some people to come down, do a little massage action. And then everybody's got cocktails going by like noon.
so Mike Vrabel's got this. Mike Vrabel's also got people coming down over for some massage action.
P.S. T. Higgins was my fourth.
That was it.
T. Higgins.
He's got contacts from his boss, so that was below the belt. So were the massages. But Mike Vrabel is not going to do that. Mike Vrabel's going to go, I think there's some pancakes over there. Bread, go make yourself some toast. And then later on, we've had a few beers, and he's just like, "Do you want to see who I'm talking to?"
See, I think Mike Vrabel is going to be like, I screwed it all up. Why did I do it? Cry all weekend.
Do you know what? Sometimes you also need that friend, though, because it makes you feel a bit better about where you're at in your life.
There you go. There you go.
So I'm down. I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
Well, that's Summer House. Fletch, I'm assuming you're going to aggregate this on social media and let people vote on who's got the best house.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Just a reminder, everybody, we're growing the show, guys. And yes, and in order to do so, we need you to share this. We need you to like this. We need you to follow us on social media. We need you to follow the AAW network. We are going to get through these dog days of summer, as I love to call them, through July. And then August is right around the corner. Camps are going to be starting. We're going to be doing previews of the AFC and the NFC. We're going to be breaking down divisions. We'll probably have Sam come on, talk a little fantasy before the season starts. Then we're going to give you our predictions. We're going to pick awards. We got all sorts of stuff coming. And then, of course, once the season starts, we'll be reviewing every Sunday and previewing every weekend, because that's what we do here on Hurdle the Line. So please make sure you go down, you subscribe, please follow us. Please engage with our content. Reach out to us, send us questions. I'd love to do some sort of question. Let us know. And yeah,
Mailbag.
I won't email you back, but somebody will.
I said we can do a mailbag.
All 4 males, and 2 of them are Mrs. Fletch. Why do you
Mrs. Fletch
keep
is not
letting
a mail?
No, like email, like mail.
No, I
would never disrespect Mrs. Fletch. Thank you very much.
Well,
I would, not Mrs. Fletch.
wow, you go after me over a Saints fan. Fair enough. I get it. It's fine. I understand.
I know who wears the pants.
Right, just because it's true doesn't mean you can say it. This is why you don't get paid for podcasts, by the way, Chapman. This is why.
Class action lawsuit is in the works. All right, guys. Batch, you got anything else?
No, you can't forget you're American because lawsuits come out all the time.
Well,
go on, Batch.
I wish you'd say something that actually hurt. Just a little tidbit. As an American, anytime I call customer service in this country, and I say something about having a lawyer, stuff starts happening. Or solicitor.
No, that's my favorite one, to turn around to someone and just say, "So I've been speaking to my legal team. Things get sorted so fast."
Glad that. I don't know what we say because, but that summer house, I guess.